Hello, just watched the video. Let me clarify, because I talk a lot in my car. And people, they take one thing I say and they run with it. And so let me give you a little background about me. Okay, so I can be transparent. First, I don't know any of the karmics, never spent one day with them. I'm not friends with them. They don't know me either. Okay, that's out the way. When I said I was a little rah-rah, that means I had a bad temper. No, I didn't club. I wasn't allowed to. Hanging out in the streets. I always had the good personality. Like people call me goody two shoes, or like some reader called me stuck up, or I wasn't black enough, that type thing. That is what my background was back in the day. But I had a temper, and people didn't see it. They didn't know I had a temper. I had like the innocent face, the proper outlook of like the outer appearance of the good girl, but inside I was fighting with. I knew that when I was a child, I had been exposed to, not from my parents, not from anybody else, but from spirit of entities coming, and to where my spiritual grandmother, she seen it. They had a seance, all this stuff, right? And I got a lot of spiritual people in my family, holy people, And I hid, but what I hid behind was bad boys. All my boyfriends were not good people. I knew they weren't good people, because anything that was off kilter in my mind, I said I would let the boyfriend do it so I wouldn't be judged by God, or I'll let the boyfriend do it so I could live out my fantasies and things through them. That's what I used to fight when I was early, like when I first started dating and stuff like that. I've had probably 2 good exes that didn't have that bad boy. They were like straight, narrow guys. One in high school and one I married. Straight people, just no, like really good people, hard workers, no BS, But other than that, I had bad boyfriends. My ex is a bad guy, a very bad guy. But for some odd reason, that's what I attract. Maybe because that was the thing that I never lived out in me. I just knew it was there, never lived it out. And I have no bad past to be exposed. Not a whore, so you can't say, I'm going to expose you on that. I have relationships. I don't have fly-by-nights, one-night stands, that type thing. Whoever I'm with, I learn them, that type deal. So any exposure of anything is obsolete. Only thing that you can ever say about me is I dated a friend that my Divinemasculine or the karmic or whatever sent my way. And I asked him the other day, I said, how long have I known you? He said, almost a year. So even the killer or the guy who they sent to get me stayed around that long and still likes me. So whatever, But no, I don't have any deadly secrets or any party girl secrets, and I don't smoke weed, never have. That's just not my thing. I drink wine, I drink beer. But I chose God a long time ago, because now I stay by myself. It's not because I'm like the loneliest person in the land. It's just because it's comfortable. Because all my life I've been alone. I'm the youngest. My oldest sisters and brothers are from my dad's first wife who passed. He married my wife, my mother, and they had me together, and my mother raised all of us because his first wife was deceased. Youngest kid was not even 1, oldest was not even 10. So my mother raised them. I've been to jail once in my life, and that was for domestic violence. A man comes toward me back in the day when I was younger, early 20s. I had the worst temper because I was spoiled to death. And I got my kid is spoiled now. I just got my way a lot. And when I would get in these relationships, I would, when they would do something, I would attack them. That's why I said I've been there with this. They said the girl is crazy and she's chasing this guy or whatever. I only had that with one person, and we stayed together off and on for 23 years. And then I learned my lesson that you cannot make a man do anything. The man has to want to be with you. You can't make a man do anything. So all the bad boy stuff, I never did anything bad. I just watched who I was with at the time do it, and I remain hey, it's up to you what you do, and I remain innocent the whole entire time. If you're gonna sell drugs, or you're gonna be a gangster, you're gonna be whatever, that's your stuff. That has nothing to do with me. I'm still fine with God. You get that type of deal. And then as I got older, I just adjusted. I just decided I just feel more comfortable with me. I started eliminating people because people would want to be around me for what they can learn from me or what they can get from me. It was never because they wanted to be with me. It was because they can learn something that's going to benefit them business-wise, or they wanted to take from me because they thought they can get it. And they would hang out. I only give up what I want. I never got taken for money. And that's honest God truth. Never got taken. And it's like say if I'm going to eat and I want you to go, I'm treating because I asked you to go. That type of deal. But can I buy you a car or pay your rent, pay your bills? Never. Okay. The killer or the guy they sent, his ex-girlfriend is kind of crazy too. She used to call me at night and stuff and harass me. And I was like, God, get a clue, get some self-esteem. You don't chase a dude like that. She called me continuously about this guy, but she ripped him off. I told him to leave her alone, but he didn't listen. She ripped him off, did horrible things to him. And then he called me because she ran off with his wallet and was like, I need help for da-da-da-da. Did I have it? Yeah. But was I going to give it to him? Hell no. Because I told you to stay away from the girl. But he wasn't listening. And we went through this over and over again, how to better himself and look out for himself and get people that are negative out of his life. So I said, you're going to have to bite that bullet because I told you over and over. And let me see, as far as, this is the heartache, because people will say, okay, the narcissist, he did the typical narcissistic stuff. He had his issues that I ignored, didn't pay attention to, because that's just me. I ignore a lot of stuff. If you listen carefully to me and my child, most of the time I ignore a lot of his shit. So if you can live with someone like that, of course, you can ignore a lot of person's stuff. You just don't hear them. You got the parental tune out. What hurt me was, like I said, I came from a separate house where I was the black sheep. I'm in a separate, stepkids. That's what I meant to say. So in my household, it was me and them. They treated me like they were first, and I was, okay, if the one sister is not talking to me, I'll talk to you. That type deal. Like they say, the black sheep, I was the black sheep. My mother was trying to spend more time investing and making sure she didn't mistreat them while I was getting left out in the process. You get what I'm saying? So when my Divine Masculine didn't help me when I thought I was dying, it was a trigger from my childhood of feeling left out. Had nothing to do with any woman, because I never had low self-esteem where I thought any of his girls were prettier than me, any of his girls were smarter than me, any of his girls were doing any type of thing that was better than what I could do, or him, or any of my exes. So that wasn't really my thing. I always had like high self-esteem. I was the captain of the cheerleading team, stuff like that. And I was always top of the line and top in front of everybody in business. If I worked for you, I was the best, because I would ask the person, who is your top person? And they'll say, oh, it's such and such. And then I'll say, okay, well, I want their numbers because I'm going to beat them. That's how I used to come in. And when I would go in for an interview, I would say, let me find them. When they say, why do you want to work here? I said, no, why do you deserve to have me? I would say things like that, and they would look at me like, are you crazy? And as far as my spiritual gifts, no one can judge my spiritual gifts because nobody knows me. This karmic does not know me. She's never spent one day with me. I don't know this lady. But, oh yeah, I did mention I don't smoke weed, right? Yeah, okay. But it's just one of those days where it's like, it's the ladies' month, you know what I mean? A week before that time, I'm emotional, and then I'm good after that. So it's about that time. So I just felt like, oh, let me say something. I can give two fucks about that Divine Masculine. And like I said, I forgive him, but right now it's that time in a month, a week before that, and I get emotional. So things trigger me, like when I think about what the fuck he did. But I'm gonna let God take care of that. I don't know how any of them managed to pull something off this big. That's the only thing I'm confused about. But when whatever the lady said, the people been watching me since April, and you see, ain't no man in and out my house, in my bed. I had one guy, and that was the guy that they sent that was with me for almost a year. And if you read my phone text messages, let me see, no, it's not in there. Or you could have listened to me one day. That man is the last person that was in my life. And I haven't really talked to anybody, even though I've been approached. Because right now I'm concentrating on business. I know what direction I got to go into, what I'm going to do. I just got to drop the electronics for a while so I can get back to focusing on me, God, and business, and helping my son get to where he needs to get to in life. But hopefully you understand me a little more. And my sister used to call me Sybil. There's many personalities inside me, because what I used to do for a living, I had to adapt to anyone that was sitting in front of me. So it just depends on my circumstances. Like what you call them, shapeshifters. I'm the ultimate shapeshifter, but luckily I'm on the side of right, on the side of God, and I don't use my gifts like that towards others to hurt them in any way, shape, or form. Because it's not worth it. Some people have those gifts and they use it to hurt people. I have those gifts, and I just it just naturally comes out into whatever mood I'm in, into whatever I'm feeling. As you can see, I'm not trying to bug her or spy on her or make any negative comments about her. I don't care about her. And I'm not trying to convince. You're a fraud. What am I fraudulent about? I'm very transparent, as you can see. Hopefully she gets the help that she needs, because this is very scary that you would spend that much time on me trying to figure me out and make assumptions about me when I'm not checking for you. Not even a little bit. And then he run off with some other girl anyway. So I'm like, why don't you spy and check on her? Or even the other one. The one that's supposed to be multiracial. Why don't you spy and check on each other? Because I'm not actually in the picture. I have no desire whatsoever to interact with that person whatsoever. So maybe all three of you can concentrate on your kids, your court situations, whatever you're into, and leave me out of it, because it has nothing to do with me. Okay? Your lives have nothing to do with me. So instead of concentrating whether I'm fraudulent or not, whether I was a hoochie mama in the past or not, whether I'm dating multiple people or what have you, as you can see, that is not the case. So go about your way and concentrate on something positive. You know, all that energy you put into me, you could be creating a new business. You could be concentrating on your children. You could be beautifying yourselves. You know, make a chart of the days that you're going to pamper yourself and the days that you're going to, you know, do something with the kids, the days you're going to have date night with your man. That shit, don't worry about if I'm fraudulent or not. You'll see eventually.